AECI is a South African-based explosives and specialty chemicals group with regional international businesses in Africa, Brazil, Indonesia and the USA.
It's a big player, of course, in explosives. That's the foundation of the business, but also a big player in specialty chemicals that are used for metallurgical purposes, the extraction of one thing from another, particularly in the platinum industry. It's also got that chemicals operation in the sort of more prosaic consumer chemicals arena and property. We'll certainly talk about the property
Market
holdings.
cap 16.6 billion rand, PE here 15.3 and a dividend yield 2.6. Wayne.
Yeah, when you look at what they say, explosives actually did quite well this last year, but that's off a very low base because of all the platinum strikes the year before. The specialty chemicals are actually doing reasonably well, but of course there's no real demand from mining. Now when you look at what Kumba's told you, what Billiton's told you, they're all cutting back on expansion. There's no more stripping of the overburden, which is massively intensive on explosives. So the mining industry doesn't look good going forward for their demand. Of course, their last set of results were spectacular, but they've been distorted heavily by land sales. They sold land down in Cape Town. They've sold a massive amount of land up here. I mean, 7, 8 years ago, you know, the land value was more than their market cap at that stage.
Paul, let's talk to the graph, which is currently up.
Well, it's been through cycles. Remember, some years ago, people started getting excited about the land assets, which is all the spare land around the Modderfontein and the Strand plant, which they didn't need and which they could safely dispose of. It really, though, came to the fore. In 2013, suddenly those Chinese guys from Shanghai, Zendai, wandered into town and bought it all from them, and they got cash. And then, as Wayne says, in addition to that, they sold a whole parcel of land in the Somerset West area, Strand area, to the Cape Town municipality, presumably for township development. But the underlying business does look a little bit stressed. That's the problem.
A little stressed.
Yes.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, simply because, you know, like if Anglo Platinum and Impala and Aquarius and Lonmin are your big customers because you're selling the stuff for them for flocculants, for platinum refining.
Under pressure.
They're
You're
battling
going
like
to
there's
fall
no tomorrow.
by way of a supply chain.
But they have moved their business globally. They're following mining in Indonesia with that new business that they've built there. So under the circumstances, I think they've actually done a very good job.
Under the circumstances, they've done a good job, Wayne?
No, but look, I'm still a little bit cautious here. Now, I'm very worried about the mining situation in South Africa. I think there's going to be huge closure. Demand will fall quite dramatically for their materials. We've got to see commodity prices recover and recover sustainably, because once you're burnt in this sector, even if the prices go up, you're not going to pump the money back in for a little while. You're going to sit and say, oh, hang on a second, let's wait and see what happens. So they've got land sales. They've still got quite a bit of land that they can sell, but even that's dwindling a bit to the end. The chemical side is actually quite good, but I'm not hot here.
But just by virtue of association.
Yes.
Look,
Paul?
when we discussed this show again, you remember we had David Lurkey from Avior on it. He really liked AECI about 3 or 4 months ago, and it was largely on the basis that they had this nice recovery from what had been a very depressed prior year because of the strikes and so on. I think we have seen that. Unfortunately, what's kind of come to the fore subsequently is the real downturn in commodity prices, which has really disturbed the equilibrium by another extent. So,
And again, it's not as though the outlook for those commodity prices has changed, and we're suddenly going to see a rally in commodity prices.
So I think you can give Mark Deitor, sorry, real credit for the work that they've done. But at current levels, I'm just anxious that the downturn in the share price, we had results from them today. I'd be surprised to see much of a material uptick from here.
Shall we call this one AECI hot or not, Wayne?
Not hot.
Not hot, Paul?
Yeah, I'm going
Hot
to
or
lean
not?
towards not hot for the moment. A little bit of a wait and see.